Get a ball, bro. One of us. One of us. Yeah, follow the other balls. We'll blend in. Oh Yo, there's so many balls!
You know, in situations like this, my mother used to always tell me, mirror, mirror on the wall, why did Cinderella get kicked out of the basketball team after all? Because she ran away from the ball. I'm not sorry. Hello, news audience. After a long time of contemplating my own existence, I have come to realize that I wanted to talk about the Ballers today. From their introduction in 8.10 patch to all the way to they left the game in Season 10, the Ballers have had a really interesting history, let's give it that. And looking at it now, I can tell you more than ever, in being certain and saying that I'm really sad about how it turned out, and I really think how they were perceived, and in comparison, in retrospect of, you know, having the mechs and everything else, I think it's clear to say that the Ballers were harmless, and they shouldn't have been nerfed 3 times. Now, what do I mean when I say the Ballers were nerfed 3 times? I'll tell you. See, in 8.10 they were introduced, and you can clearly see, by looking at the patch notes, they had 300 health. And they did some damage, and that was about it. And being completely honest, a full spray of an AR at that time, even like a blue AR, would have gotten rid of the ball, and that was it. Most of the casual community was happy with it, but the pros weren't. And, you know, they squirm a little bit, get a little mad, and lo and behold, the next update comes out, 8.20, and they say, okay, the Baller will no longer apply collision damage. And I remember when that came out, I was like, damn, that's kind of sad, because then you couldn't have clips like this anymore.
Oh, I tried to catch you. I'm coming back in fresh. Oh my god! What? I killed him with the ball! I killed him with the ball! I'm literally the carry! I carried the team fresh! I'm rolling out of the zone. That is the greatest round that will ever happen with a hamster ball. That's the peak. It doesn't get better than that. Killing a TTV tryhard with the hamster ball. I have no words.
To be honest, that's one of my favorite clips, and I was very sad to see that would no longer exist in the game. But anyway, they also, in the patch notes, discussed, listen to this, we've noticed a lot of discussions around the Ballers, so here's an update. If you're not satisfied with the current use of the Ballers, specifically in the late game, with the V.30 update, we will release a change that allows players to shoot through the glass of the Baller. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, the casual community was really, really mad. I was too. I remember talking to my friends about this, being like, they're going to be useless. Because what's the point of riding in a ball that's supposed to protect you, that doesn't shoot, that's just for mobility, if people can shoot through it anyway? You're basically like flying with a glider, but slower and worse. So why the hell would they do that? So after that backlash, it was pretty apparent that they weren't going to do that, and they didn't. Because in the 8.30 changes, get this, they didn't change that, but what they did do is that they actually had the first more significant nerf to the Baller. The health from the Baller went from 300 to 200. Now you might be saying, that's not that significant, right? Well, it kind of is, because now it's effectively 33% faster to break the ball. Then those 33, or that percentile, could lead to your death even, or just less moments of you being in the ball for you to escape from an enemy, or, you know, to go wherever you needed to in the ball. So it was at this point I started to realize that like the pro scene had a real influence on that, and I wasn't really too happy about that. First it was the damage, which is kind of more reasonable, but it was more of a meme thing than anything else. And then it was reducing the health again. I think it's important to mention before we continue that the reason that the pros were so mad at the balls was because they were annoying, especially like at the beginning clip. Let me play it again for you.
Oh Yo, there's so many balls!
They didn't like seeing so many people in balls, like, not dying, and they didn't think it was skillful. To be honest, I think to an extent it did take a lot of skill to stay in the zone with the Ballers. They flew around and they bounced around everywhere, and I remember like so many clips of just pros just freaking dying to the storm because they couldn't control the balls correctly. And even then, one of the biggest reasons that maybe they even added the ballers in the first place, or unintentional maybe, is that it reduced server lag. And on top of Storm Surge, the servers got really laggy around Season 7, especially when there's like 50 people in End Circle. The servers can't handle it, and because of that, the frames drop, there's stuttering, and the pros hated that, so that kind of helped. Now, believe it or not, a lot of the pros didn't seem to understand that, and they'd rather have lower frames and not have a playable game than have some balls flying around, so it was pretty dumb. Anyway, around rolls around the 9.0 patch, and guess what? They nerfed the ballers again from 200 to 150. So now, effectively, you could hit the baller like 6 times with an AR. This giant, massive hitbox, and your baller would be gone. That's not too good. Especially if you're suspended in the air, and then you just die because it only took some guy like 6 shots to shoot you out of the sky, and then you died to fall damage. Amazing. And it kind of defied the whole point of them being a mobility item, because if they broke so easily, you were an easy target. So effectively, the baller was nerfed 3 times because of the pro scene, and they were completely balanced, especially when you compare it to something like the planes, which I have my own opinion about, but I won't talk about it now. But the planes are certainly much more devastating, and even comparing it to the mechs that we all know and love, amazingly, the ballers were harmless, and the pros ruined it. Now, I'll tell you one thing. I think this clip of Ninja really summarizes how I feel about the ballers, and how it all went down, and it's unfortunate end. So, take a look at this.
Yeah, I saw on Twitter this morning that like a lot of pros don't like the balls or whatever.
Of course they don't.
It's like a ton of them.
Oh man, what do the pros like?
Yeah, true.
That's one thing I've learned, man. If you guys want to follow like just negative people, follow any pro player in like the game of the professional at. Like 99% of the time, man, it's just like there's just
Thanks, man.
oh hey 99. There's the 1%. I said the majority of people, they're always like their tweets are so negative. Updates the game. I mean, even me lately, the last like 2 of my tweets have been negative. Take that to the nth degree when people, you know, it's their sole, you know what I mean? Their sole like revenue income is competing in a video game. It's like they're just, if it's not perfect, dude.
Yeah. If they dislike something, they're definitely gonna.
Oh, they're so vocal about it.
Yeah. Like to be honest, I like the balls.
Dude, all it takes is one full spray of an AK or an AR, like
Not even that.
at a decent distance, and they're broken. It's 300 HP, dude.
In between the pros and the casual scene, I really feel like the handling of the baller was just mistreated. And looking at it in retrospect in comparison to everything now, I think generally it can be said that they were nerfed to hell and they didn't need to be. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. In the last video, nobody actually left a comment describing the reference that I made. So I'm gonna have to give myself my own award.
The Epic Gamer Award, of course.
Okay, let's see if I can find the award here. Alright, I'm gonna put it on this shelf, and I'm gonna make a creative world. And I'm gonna put it right there. And I'll put it in game as well, so that I can memorialize my trophy, because nobody else got the reference. So if you want to get the reference that I made in this video, please leave a comment. I'm lonely. And if you get the reference that I made, then you get a trophy in the world, and I'll give you. Yep. Okay. Anyways, I hope y'all had a good day, good night, afternoon. We'll talk to you later, and don't waste your life watching YouTube videos.